Greetings and welcome back to yet another episode of Dark Souls 3. In the previous one, we had a very smooth experience. Nothing really went too wrong and nothing kind of caught us off guard. We managed to get this giant greatsword, we kind of went through the catacombs. Everything seemed to be kind of alright. And of course what I did at the end of the episode, of the previous episode, I went back to Firelink Shrine and I upgraded my weapon to +3. So now it's gonna be even a little bit more potent. And what I think surprised me was that it actually uses rats against the giant sword. This is the battle of... Right. I knew this was... I knew it was gonna come. For some reason, I just stayed in the very same pad. Alright, so... that was a good start. Let's try again. Luckily, we weren't too far in... we weren't too invested in actually going far, so... Yeah, okay, so what I said is, now our weapon is +3 and it should do even more damage. And that's always exciting, of course. Let's just wait for the ball to roll back. I'm not in a rush, I don't have to wait. Like, sure, it's a bit hot in this room because it's like 100 degrees Fahrenheit or like 40 degrees Celsius outside, but whatever, right? We just need to level up fire resistance and it'll be fine. Now, whenever you use a big weapon and you manage to get more than one enemy, it's always super satisfying. More Titanite shards, more of this... Oh, this is the smooth guy. Let's see how much more damage we're doing. Surprisingly, not that much more damage. I thought we could actually take him out in 3 hits, but I guess not. It's still 4 hits, so our upgrade didn't do that much, at least not in regards of... Hidden pet? There we go. So our upgrade didn't do that much, because I always say whenever you have a weapon that deals any amount of damage in any game... Wait. No, I wasn't here before. It doesn't matter like how much damage your weapon does, it just matters in how many hits actually kill your enemy. So if your enemy has like 1000 HP, and... I need to heal. You're using very odd attacks. Why did he jump when he was in front of me to throw a ranged attack? You know, I figure that's something that happens when he's away from me, or whatever. So let's say if your enemy has 1000 HP, and you deal, let's say 334 damage. So that means you're gonna kill them in 3 hits exactly. And you get like an upgrade, and you upgrade your damage to 499. And you might say, well, that's a very big increase. Obviously, it's almost like a third of your initial damage has just gone up. But the fact of the matter is, you're still gonna need 3 hits to actually kill the enemy that you're trying to kill. And regardless of how much damage you actually gained, it's not gonna make a difference until you exceed that 500 damage calculation, or at least 500 damage. It will be actually to kill an enemy in 2 hits as opposed to 3. Yeah, I feel like this is something that the developers do. I mean, it's obvious why it works this way, right? Enemies have HP, you deal a certain amount of damage. If it just dealt proportional damage to your enemies, like if it was coded in a way where you would always deal, let's say, you would always need 2 hits to kill an enemy, like that would make a lot of sense, because then different weapons would have different power levels, right? How are you gonna balance around that? It's much more dynamic if you actually pose it in the way they did, but it's also, I think it allows for a little bit of a much more fine-tunedly balanced game, because it does allow you to... yeah, okay, so these guys I don't like, because apparently they can hit me through the wall and I can hit them through the wall, and that is, as always... Okay, I feel I can take him, because... how is he not dead? Are these stronger now, or is my weapon actually dealing less damage after I've upgraded it? Because this isn't making a lot of sense. I remember killing them in like 4 hits before, and now it feels like I even need more time, but I guess I was one-handing my weapon this time. If you one-hand your weapon as opposed to... So apparently they also come back. Alright. So if you one-hand your weapon, it deals less damage than two-handing it, because your strength is actually reduced to some extent. But still, come on, right? I feel like to some extent I should keep my range because I am good at range, but in other regard I don't want to, because then they throw their knives at me. But they're a good source of Titanite shards. I feel like every time I killed one I got 1 Titanite shard. And this will allow me to upgrade my weapon to +4. I've also noticed just in general the game is a little bit stingier with how many shards it gives you. And not stingier, like it gives you more... It gives you... Oh goddammit. It gives you more shards, but what it also does is it ups the requirements for how many shards you need in order to upgrade the weapon. So for example, I think in the previous games you would need one large Titanite shard to actually, what? To upgrade your weapon, right? But in this one you need, I think, 2 to upgrade it to +4. So that's just one of those things, which I also think makes balancing easier, because if you're gonna give a Titanite shard every time you kill an enemy, that's gonna be so much more satisfying for the player, but ultimately, right, it's still gonna be proportionally the same as to how many enemies you need to kill if you want to upgrade your weapon. But this way it just feels more satisfying, because you always get something when you kill an enemy, and I feel like that's a good change. And I know it's probably not like what they intended or anything like that, or maybe it is, I'm not sure, but it's definitely, I would say, a nice consequence. Like killing an enemy and just getting a Titanite shard, the result is good. It feels good. Get down, thank you. Alright, so let's see what's going on. Remember, this is all was hidden, like a secret illusory vault. Oh, this is on the other side of where I was before. Okay, so that ends our exploration of this little area. I like that they block or lock these areas down in hidden paths. Like, it's super cool that they go this far. They just hide things, right? It's not intended for you to find them. Yeah, I think that's one of those, not complaints, but very risky things that this studio does that not a lot of other games do. They hide things knowingly that some people will never find them, and yet they still put them in the game, just add more content on top. It gives this game so much replayability and also just so much spirit whenever because hidden things actually are hidden, right? In a lot of other games, when something is hidden, you're gonna have an obvious clue as to how to find it, so that's not really gonna feel hidden, right? Because you're gonna be like, oh, it's a secret, but it's a secret that the game very obviously wanted me to find in the first place. But in this game, it just feels like a secret is actually a secret, because sometimes you're gonna get something really strong hidden behind the secret door, and you could be like, well, I could have just easily walked by this and I wouldn't get anything. Do I see what I see? Are those bone wheel skeletons? Alright. I've dealt with these guys in every game up until this point, and I really wanted them not to exist. Sludge? Alright. And I really wanted them not to exist in this game as well, but they do. And I guess we'll just have to deal with it the best we possibly can. Alright. If you don't know what bone wheel skeletons are and why I'm so nervous about them, just you wait. Just you wait. Maybe their damage is reduced, as he said very excitingly. And I feel like... No. I knew there was gonna be a slime there, but I thought I could dodge in time. Leave me alone, you dirty slime. Give me slimes, give me skeletons. Sure, you know, like that's the quintessential Dark Souls experience. Slimes and skeletons. Why is it? This game should be named Slimes and Skeletons. I feel like that's gonna be a much more appropriate name. Did you see it? It actually went for the pods. It tried to unleash the skulls that float in the air on me. Well, too bad for you, mate. Apparently you set a trap and you didn't even know how to trigger it. I wanna bait them one by one for sure. I definitely don't wanna go. More sludge? Alright. Area one more time, because it's gonna be horrible. I can't just... what was this lock on? I for sure locked onto this guy. Okay, so for some reason these guys are slower in Dark Souls 3 than they are in Dark Souls 1. In Dark Souls 1 they were crazy fast, or maybe just my imagination. But alright. They're not that big of a deal, as I found out. Really? Well, it missed me. Somehow it missed me. It missed me the second time. Alright, so never mind. You remember when I said these guys are problematic? Apparently they're just useless. Miss me once, shame on you. Miss me twice, what are you doing, right? Friggin' sludge. I figured I triggered most of them. Oh my god, the slimes. I hope at least they have a very small chance of actually dropping something. I feel like it's gonna be the perfect place to actually put like a very rare... Like, imagine if the slimes dropped like an ore that would allow you to upgrade your weapon to, I don't know, a flaming ballista or something like that. And nobody would expect it, because like, who's gonna kill the slimes, right? The slimes are innocuous, they're just there, they have a lot of HP, they're annoying to kill. Yeah, thanks, I really appreciate it. No, they just give you like a few souls and that's it, because life isn't fair. I hope because the water stopped, the slimes, the sludge stopped. Of course, I spoke too soon. I hate that I can't hit them when they're on the ground. Thank you. I just need to watch for the souls, because sometimes when you kill a skeleton, it actually comes back, right? So the only way to really make sure whatever the enemy is dead is to watch the soul count. I'm so glad, I cannot tell you how glad I am that they nerfed these skeletons. Because in Dark Souls 1 they were, like, not only were they very fast and kind of unpredictable, there were like 5 of them at once in a very, it wasn't a narrow corridor to be honest, but you definitely didn't have a lot of move to kind of move around. Just because of how they were placed. And when one rolled into you, it doesn't matter if you were holding a shield, you were gonna die. Like, it's gonna take all your stamina, all your health. It's practically the nuclear weapon of Dark Souls, except there's 5 of them and they roll really, really fast. Okay, so I did all of this just for one item. Carthus Blood Ring. Well, hopefully it's a good item at least, right? I feel like it's gonna be an item that increases my blood resistance. My bleed out resistance, so enemies can bleed me out as easily. Like, it just makes sense for the area, right? And I figure I might actually equip it. Alright, so that was a worthwhile effort, I suppose. It was, we got a nice ring out of it. I like my blink blink, so right, let's just leave this and never come back. It's my plan for now. So I'm kind of confused as to where I already went and where I didn't. I already was there, I think. There was a hidden wall, which I'm not even sure where it is anymore. Definitely wasn't this one. I think we came here from the hidden wall. Yep. Alright, so the logical next step is maybe... This is the hidden area, so the next logical step is just to go here. It's rather close to the bonfire, so I probably should go heal, but you know, who dares wins. Oh, this is a cave. I just realized this. A very valiant observant effort. This is a cave. Oh, nice. We got a Sherlock here amongst our midst. Exactly what I wanted to do. Worked perfectly. Apparently it didn't die, because of course there's a ledge down there. No, he definitely died. If it didn't die, color me surprised, because I don't know how he survived that. How it survived that, I suppose. It's a skeleton. I know that like some really good anthropologists can tell sex and also race and things like that just from seeing a skull, but you would be surprised. I actually don't know how to differ. I just assume they're male because most, I don't know, skeleton, like the verb is a male. I think it's a male. It's male in Slovenian, so. Actually, it's not. It doesn't have a sex. Oh, right, whatever. Now grammar lessons about a language you don't probably even know. So this is the ultimate moral question. Do we go by the bridge, which is obviously going to break, or do we go around? And I feel like I'm always going to choose the safer. What the hell happened? Wow. Wait a sec. What? There's so many skeletons. All right. Okay, the ultimate moral question has been answered. Just run. That's the ultimate moral question of this story. God damn it, why are there so many skeletons? Did you see how many? Look at that! This is crazy. I thought I could maybe cut the ropes. I can't. I can't. I definitely can't. Just make a run for it. This is gonna be a boss fight, isn't it? Oh man. I'm not too terribly excited about this one. Okay, just run, just run. There are enemies, there are things to explore. There are too many skeletons. Did they stop? They can't fit through the door. Great! That's as good as anything else for me. I just wanted to explore if there's anything around us to actually find, pick up. Thing seems to be in this position. Maybe in the other one. Let's check. You know, one thing I hate, like this is, it's probably not even audible to you, but it might, like, you might hear it. But for some reason, sometimes my computer ends up going this parade on just accessing the hard disk, the hard drive. Wait a second. Am I supposed to present something? Wait a second. I feel like I'm missing a very important piece of the puzzle. Oh, there it is. Okay, so at first I thought it was gonna be a boss fight and this is still a cutscene, but apparently just teleported us somewhere. And yeah, this is the only way to actually progress it. Oh, hi. Apparently it is a boss fight. Okay. We know how to deal with bosses like this ones, aren't we? Apparently he has a lot of HP. Hi Lord. What's going on? Guys, help. What just happened? Okay, I was talking about my hard drive before I finished. I want to finish that thought because, not because I think it's important, but because I think it matters. Okay, it's stopped now. And essentially, sometimes, you know, what happens is Windows has its own driver updates. I mean, just updates in general. It starts downloading, and of course my hard drive begins recording them on its hard drive. I thought I can roll back. Okay, I guess not. And for that reason, because my hard drive is actually sort of exposed, like I won't call it exposed, but it's on the outer side of the case. You can hear it's actually writing stuff to the actual hard drive. And that's I would call this a pretty good thing in some regard. Right, wait, I remembered. I'm just trying to make a run for it, and I feel like this might not be the best case. Like, it feels like the boss fight is actually not pretty far. I guess it's not that far. Alright. So yeah, when it does that, it actually makes quite a bit of noise. And when it makes noise, you can hear it. Or at least I can hear it. I'm not sure if you can hear it. But that's what's going on if you hear, like, random noises of the hard drive. It's not your hard drive. It's probably my hard drive. Oh wait, am I just gonna always get souls here when I actually end up dying? That's cool. We don't need a cutscene. Alright, so how do we deal with this guy? Because he seems to have a lot of HP. Okay, I don't know why I expected this to work. There must be a gimmick. I cannot believe this enemy exists in this form. Like, maybe I just need to pick up the item. Let's try that. How about that, alright? I'll just cut to the chase and just actually meet you when I come back to the boss fight. Alright, Skeleton Lord. I don't know what you are or what you're supposed to be. Okay, so he just blocked it, and the mist is definitely something that will kill us. And he seems to be protecting it, so I'm not sure how we're supposed to actually get to it. He just has so much HP. Okay, so his hand doesn't hurt me when it moves, so that's a very good thing. Well, this definitely hurts when he does it. That was a very obvious attack. So much HP though. I mean, he shouldn't be too difficult to kill considering he's a very stationary target, and that's probably why he has so much HP. But I feel like a greatsword is not the weapon of choice for this fight. But what do I know, right? Oh, there we go. That's the gimmick. We just need to break his bracelets. Bracelets. This is how we kill him. Get rid of the bling bling. A man of my own kind. That's what I want to say. He also likes blings. He doesn't have any rings, just bracelets. Which is out of fashion, I feel like. But yeah, no, this just continues the trend of really cool boss fights in Dark Souls 3, of course. Oh, the bracelets have recuperated. Oh, no, there's just one more on this hand. They definitely seem like a weak spot, right? It makes so much sense that a giant skeleton would wear bracelets and then you would destroy them in order to deal massive damage to him. It's just what I always thought would happen. Alright, so definitely a gimmick boss fight. I do enjoy it. He's a really cool boss. And honestly, killing a boss by killing its bracelets, definitely in my like top 3 live goals. It was just a pyromancy though. Heir of Fire destroyed. Exciting. Nice! Ember restored, and there's a bonfire. I think this is a good actually place to end the episode. I was considering whether I should continue or not, and then I figured there was not gonna be a bonfire, but there is a bonfire. One thing I wanted to say is, I noticed that this cup had liquid in it before, and I was like, don't drink this, and I really thought he was gonna drink it, but he didn't, so I guess that's a good thing. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, I hope you enjoyed this guy. No, wait. So what I'm trying to say is, I hope you enjoyed this one, guys, and I hope to see you next time.